with my hair shaved, and then pictures and videos of me ringing the bell, and I made a TikTok video, and I was like, oh my God, like I feel fantastic making this video now after everything that we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was like a huge step in like healing and really kind of feeling that we made it through something that there was a point where we didn't know if we were going to make it through.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the other side of it, but it's like, how is it in your everyday life? I'm sure you think about it all the time, right?
Yeah, yeah. I try to keep myself busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very active person, so I go to the gym 5, 6 days a week usually. Um, and I keep myself busy around the house and doing laundry and like little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like I stop and like realize like a lot of little things. Like before my tumor, I was very go go go,
Mm-hmm.
constantly on the move, constantly doing something, constantly making plans, and I felt like I would have been more of a bridezilla if I hadn't gone through this before our wedding. Because afterwards, I was like, I don't care, whatever. Like it is what it is. Life still goes on. We're still getting married. Like it's gonna be fine. Um, but I really tried not to let that impact who I am and what my life looks like and what it's going to look like. Just because it's not, I don't want my tumor to be something that defines me and defines who I am. And I don't want people to look at me with pity, like, oh, this poor girl, like she went through so
Mm-hmm.
much. She had this brain tumor, I had all these surgeries, like she's been through a lot. And when I made my initial post on Facebook about my tumor, I like had an internal battle with myself because I was like, I'm not doing this for people to look at me like
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad for you. I was looking at it to be like, hey, if something's wrong, go get it checked out. Because you just
Mm-hmm.
don't know. You don't know until you get it checked out. You don't know until you talk to a professional. Little did I know that that was what was going to happen from that MRI. Had no idea. And it makes me a better person. It makes my relationship with my husband a lot stronger. Um, on that Facebook group that I joined, there's people that post and say, you know, my significant other broke up with me or left me because I was a royal bitch or something like all these things. And I'm just like, never in a million years. Like A would have Kyle would have never done that. He would have never left me, no matter how cranky and moody I got. But I also never even questioned him. Like I never thought that that would have happened to begin with. So it's really sad to see that like that happens to some people and some people lose family members over it versus like I was very lucky, very fortunate to have such a strong support system between my parents, my husband, my brothers, my in-laws, just everyone kind of just rallied, friends. Everyone just kind of rallied around me, and I truly, 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 truly felt that when I was in the hospital and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I can't imagine. I mean, that I can say that over and over again, and I'm sure people say it all the time, but that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier, that you are a lot more than this. And I just like the thought of talking a little bit more about like what else is going on in your life. And you said
Yeah.
that with COVID, your career changed. So for me, I'm not surprised, but after something big goes on in your life, I feel like you can go a bunch of different ways. Like some people would want to be like, "Oh, I want to do this now. I want to change my job." Like, were you already really happy with your job and now you just appreciate it more, or like how did it affect like your life in that way?
So so the bank that I work for, I've been with them almost 6 years. And I had started a new job 2 weeks before my first surgery.
Mm,
So it's in commercial development. So it's an HR role versus before this HR role, I was in customer service. When COVID hit, I was working in a branch as a banker, but nobody was going into branches during COVID. Everybody was calling customer service. So when COVID hit, I got the opportunity to work from home and work in just like in the contact center, like your general 1-800 customer service phone line.
yeah.
And I just kind of worked my way around that into different departments. And I found myself in the business department, which is what I did in the branch. So it was nice. I had that kind of like parallel to what I used to do. And I made my way around there. And I wasn't happy. Like I was very good at
Mhm.
what I did, but it was just the same thing over and over again. And customers
Mhm.
calling yelling at me. And I had my MBA at that point, and I was like, I, I didn't know about the tumor at this point, but I
Mhm.
was just not happy, and I was
Mhm.
miserable, and I knew I wanted something more.
Mhm.
Um, and so I started applying for new jobs, and that
Mhm.
was we're in, we're in July now, so that was almost a year ago that I was applying for. And I just kept on applying for jobs in HR, trying to find something that fit with what I was looking for, but
Mhm.
also what I wanted to put my MBA to use. I felt like it was just a
Mhm.
waste at that point.
Yeah.
And the position that I ended up getting hired for, I had 8 different interviews, which isn't normal. I've learned it's not normal. Um,
No.
but it was with my manager, the 2 people on her team, and then just a bunch of business partners across the bank that they work with. And I just remember Kyle playing Eye of the Tiger going into like my 5th interview. And I was like getting pumped. I was ready. I was putting makeup on. And he was like, "You got this. Like, it's going to be great." And he was playing Eye of the Tiger to get me pumped up. And I was like, "I swear to God, after all these interviews, they don't like me. Like, this has been
Yeah.
forever." So it was so hard because I was so excited about this new role and I was so excited to jump in. And then as soon as I found out about the tumor, I immediately called my new boss and I was like, "Hey, like, I know I haven't started yet, but found this out. Don't know what's going to happen, but like, I need to tell you, I'm not going to be that, new employee that's like, hey, by the way, I'm taking however much time off of work."
Yeah.
Um, so I started the new role and they kind of eased me into it and they've been fantastic, and extremely supportive. So they eased me into it. And then when I came back to work, again, they kind of eased me back into working and like what to expect and what my role was. So I was off of work for 3 months. And the nice thing about this new position that I started, there was nobody else in this role before me. It was a
Mhm.
brand new role that they created because this team needed help.
Mhm.
So I get to kind of write what this position looks like and
Mhm.
what's kind of expected out of my role. And that's what I was really looking forward to. But after all my surgeries and everything, again, I didn't want it to be something that defined me when I went back to
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
So when I would be introduced to new people, they would say, "Oh, Angela, she just joined her team. She was out for a few months. Now she's back." And I just kind of never went into detail with things with new people, just because as I got to know people that I got closer with, I would tell them, or if somebody would be like, "Oh, why is your calendar blocked off today?" I would tell them. But I never jumped into starting my story of who I am with the
Yeah.
tumor,
Yeah.
because I want them to look at me and be like, "Oh, this poor girl."
Right. Right.
So I truly just jumped right into work. As soon as I got back to work, I jumped right in and just started working and trying to learn this new position and like define what this position was going to be. I was really bored in my old role, and on my
Mhm.
old roles, I was kind of bored and I wanted more of a challenge. And this is definitely a challenge. It's very different. It's not customer service. It's not talking to customers. It's not taking people's loan applications. It's um, looking at, they call it like the talent pool or whatever, and figuring out on the commercial side of the bank, as people retire, as people leave the bank, who's coming up, who's going to be our next
Mhm.
people to help run the bank. Um, so I've kind of just thrown myself into work and just learning as much as possible, as much as I could, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. And I mean, that's almost, I mean, I hate to even say it, but I feel like that's kind of hard to come by, like people that are that accepting of things. And I mean,
Oh, it is.
especially when you just kind of met them. It's like, I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
That kind of sucks that it's hard to come by, but I feel like it is.
No, it is. They sent me flowers. They sent me cards. The one woman
Wow.
I'm really close with donated money on the meal train. Um, they sent me a shower gift for my bridal shower.
Wow.
I was just, not that my other team wouldn't have done that, because I've been with them for years, so I know that they would have done similar things. But these women, it's 3 women. I knew them for a couple months, a couple weeks before they sent me cards and everything. I was just like blown away at their generosity and how amazing that they've all been and how supportive they've all been throughout all of this. And I've never met them in person. Like, we don't have an office. We all work remote.
Wow.
I meet them
Yeah.
all in person in August. We all go to Rhode Island for a week, and that's the
Oh,
first
that's
time I
nice.
actually meet my manager and my team like in person. I'll get to see them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's great. That makes all the difference, truly. It just helps with your confidence at work too. Like, you don't feel like you have to prove yourself as much, but 8 interviews is a lot. I can't
it
imagine
was a
that.
lot. It was exhausting. We were able to like compact them into like 4 different days. But it was just interview after interview after interview. And I just kept on thinking, they don't like me now. Like, they're not going to continue interviewing me if they don't.
Right,
And that's what I kept on
right.
telling myself. That's what Kyle kept on telling me. And I wanted, like, I wanted to get into HR. And my old manager at the contact center was like, "Oh, you should take this position. You should apply for this position in the contact center." And I was like, "Oh, I just don't want to stay in the contact center. Like, I don't know how else to say that. I just don't want to
Mhm,
go to the contact center." And
mhm,
she kept on, and she was wonderful, and I loved her. She was great to work for, but she just kept on pushing it, and I had to keep saying no. Like, no, I
mhm,
don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that.
mhm,
Um, and if I didn't, like, if COVID wasn't a thing, and this sounds terrible, but like, if COVID wasn't a thing, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity, like, in my role right now, because I didn't
mhm,
know that these kinds of role existed. Like, I didn't know certain programs that the bank does actually exist until I
mhm.
stepped into the role that I'm in now.
No,
So
that's not terrible to
that was
say. That
terrible. Like,
I feel like
my career took off.
yeah, yeah, no, a lot of people I feel like either took the chance to like change careers or explored a little more, found how much they benefit from working from home. I think that really helped and changed a lot of people for sure. But yeah, you've had a lot of change over the last, I mean, year. So,
Yeah.
anyways, is there anything else that you want to share before we kind of wrap up? You shared so much.
So I know. I think like my biggest thing that I like people always ask me like, how did you make it through everything? You're so positive. Even like Kyle or like my dad will be like, it would be like the morning of your surgery, you'll be like, all right, let's rock and roll. Like, let's get this over with.
Mhm.
I think what helped me stay positive throughout everything is that I know like you can only do so much to help yourself. So I really pride myself on taking care of me as number one. Like
Mhm.
I'm my own priority. The
Mhm.
reason why I survived everything that I did was because before pre-tumor, like years in the making, I was exercising, eating healthy, taking care of
Mhm.
myself. And
Mhm.
I continue to do that even when I get up at 5 a.m. and I don't want to go to the gym. I'm like, nope, you survived what you did because you were getting up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym. So you're going to keep doing that because God forbid something
Mhm.
else happens. You're going to be in even better shape to take care of yourself. So my biggest thing that I tell people constantly is just to take care of yourself, be your person that you need to be and constantly like focus on that because if you don't, it's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week. It'll happen, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now.
Mhm.
And it's all about consistency and that's how you have to make it through.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is a perfect way to encapsulate everything I talk about. So I love that. And your story is so inspiring. I know that you don't want to be considered this person, but I mean, it's just strengthened you more. I think it defined your relationship with your husband even more. That's incredible that your dad and your parents and your whole family is so like close knit to you and you can depend on them. That's amazing too. And I just can see, like you said, that you go out of your way for a lot of people. I think everybody recognized that. Hi, everyone. This is Kim. I'm just checking in because unfortunately our chat got cut off a little bit early, but we were wrapping up. So I just wanted to kind of close this out and let you know that you're not missing anything. This is the end of the podcast episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Angela is so amazing, inspiring. Her story is so interesting to listen to, and it is amazing. It has a positive ending. So, tons of congratulations and prayers and good vibes sent to Angela as the career lady, newlywed, and survivor that she is. Thank you guys for listening and always for tuning in, sharing, rating the podcast, following all of the things that you're doing. I appreciate it more than you know. I will see you in the next one.